the unstable growth performance of the Nigerian economy has been a source of concern to policymakers due to the dominance of crude oil as the mainstay of the Nigerian economy in terms of export share and foreign exchange earnings. Instability is in international crude oil price, neglect of other sectors of the economy, narrow base of the country's export and foreign exchange earnings, and political unrest and agitation in oil-exploring communities, amongst others, are major issues. Consequently, export diversification presents a very valuable option for addressing some of these issues I've mentioned and the attainment of sustainable growth and even development across the country. Well, joining us now to discuss ways Nigeria can diversify its exports and also assessing the reforms of the Nigerian Export-Import Bank, NEXIM, is the Executive Director, Business Development of NEXIM, Stella Okotete. Thanks for joining us this morning on The Morning Show.
Good morning.
Good morning. So now let's begin with this situation. Let's talk about some of the problems that Nigerian exporters have to deal with, some of which include logistics, road rail infrastructure. You know, would you say this is some of the reasons why this sector has been incredibly held back for so long?
Not really. Yes, it has contributed, but I think the awareness that export is the best, option right now, since the oil prices are down, needs to be, created. And thanks for this platform. Nigerians must know that the best way we can deal with the insecurity, deal with the restiveness in the land, is actually to grow our non-oil export basket. And when I say non-oil export, I'm talking about agriculture, solid minerals, ICT and services. If we grow that, yes, we can. Logistics, we have issues with that, but if the pressure on exports increases, I'm very sure that those little issues with logistics will be clearly addressed. The rails are working right now. We just hope, it can be extended to export zones. If that is done, it will definitely increase our export quantity. We hope also that the Apapa port, the road leading to the Apapa port will be completed soon. And so all the congestions and all of that we are currently experiencing will be a thing of the past. Export is just the option.
All right, Stella, let's lay some more foundation for this discussion. The volume of goods and services a nation produces and sells has a direct relationship with how robust its economy will be. Now, following from this, a strong export base has many advantages for starters. You can talk about job creation, you can talk about resource allocation, and capital formation. The question is, can one say that this is the case here in Nigeria, and why not? And if not, how can we really begin to deliberately change it?
All hands has to be on deck. From the state to the local government, the people, we need to see that export is the way to go. Currently, we have the land, we have the resources, we have the human capital needed to grow the export basket. And you have NEXIM Bank that is positioned to fund export, non-oil export. And so if all hands are on deck, if the synergy is right, we can definitely, increase our export earnings as a nation. And for us at NEXIM, we're looking at not just exporting commodities in its raw form, we're also very keen and interested in value addition. That has been the bane of our policies and our funding facilities for the past 3 years. We've looked at developing and improving the quality of what we export from Nigeria. And currently today, we're currently exporting sesame oil. In the past 3 years, that was not done. We're just exporting sesame in its raw form. Today, we're doing sesame oil. We're doing cashew kernels. We're doing cocoa cakes, cocoa butters, and all of that for export. And this is just a few. We can really do beyond this. We can do beyond this. And I want, the state government, the local government, private sectors, because it's not government. Government can only facilitate and create the enabling environment. But the private sector must look, the private entrepreneurs must look at export as an option now. And come talk to us at NEXIM, and we'll definitely give you the advisory services you need, as well as the funding requirements to grow the exports value chain in the country.
All right, now, like you said, looking at private entrepreneurs who are looking to begin this line of work, what goods would you say are some of the very viable export products at the moment? And what role does the fact that we're looking at high inflation and unstable exchange rates have to play in some of this private entrepreneurs venturing into this business?
If we grow our non-oil exports value chain, if we grow the sector, we'll definitely strike a balance with the fluctuation in the exchange rate. What we're facing currently is because Nigeria has been solely dependent on oil, and so that's our FX stream, as a country. But when we go into agriculture, so many sesame seed, cocoa, cashew, gum arabic in the north, palm oil, palm kernel for agriculture. Solid minerals, there are so much. Gold, copper, tin, oil, lead, they're all there for us. ICT, get our young people more involved in this sector. We could drive Silicon Valley if you ask me, and that would definitely help in our FX generation. We're also looking at services. We have the numbers. So if this country can be a host for service needs, we can also increase foreign earnings from all of this. But for me, agriculture is key, and value addition in agriculture is tomatoes to tomato paste for export. All of this is needed. We're the big brother in quotes of Africa. Just imagine if Nigeria can feed the entire Africa continent.
Wonderful.
By exporting what we produce. I'm sure would definitely come off all of the bottlenecks we're currently experiencing as a country. Unemployment will be a thing of the past. Foreign earnings definitely would increase. Youth restiveness will be reduced. We just need to get it right, and getting it right needs all Nigerians, to get their hands on deck.
Yeah, good ideas. Somebody said talk is cheap. It's implementation that's the issue. Now, let's look at the strategy of the Asian tigers. The Asian tigers, Singapore, Taiwan, South Korea, and Hong Kong. It has led to their own rapid growth. Yes, indeed, Stella, you could say that each country has its peculiarity. But is there not something we could have learned from these countries to change the trajectory of Nigeria's growth?
Yes, there's so much to learn from what's happened in Asia. One of it is sincerity, patriotism. That's what we need to wake up right now as a nation. We need to be patriotic. We need to be sincere with ourselves, those in government and those and the people. We need to come together and see that, yes, we can do it. And there's nothing stopping us. I just think there's nothing stopping us. What we just need right now is the willpower. We need to be sincere. And yes, for us at NEXIM, we are well positioned to support the non-oil exports, basket. We've done so much, and we're willing to do more than what we're currently doing. We're also looking at the export of automobiles. We're looking at the export of beyond agriculture, manufactured goods. We're looking at the export of car parts. I have some customers currently producing brake pads and all of that for some of the big brands you have overseas. It's happening in Nigeria. What we just need is more engagement with the private sector and get them to diversify. A whole lot of Nigerians just believe in oil. This is a wake-up call. We must diversify our basket.
Absolutely.
And doing that with NEXIM is the best option.
Producing brake parts.
Absolutely.
Sporting cars.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
You know what? We have been talking about some of the, amazing things that's happening right now in export. We were just mentioning how brake parts are being produced and they are being exported.
Yes. That's just one. We're currently looking at exporting automobiles also from Nigeria to countries like Sierra Leone and Liberia, working with entrepreneurs who are playing actively in the sector. Beyond that, currently we have three. We have one shea butter processing plant, two almost completed. So we're talking about three processing plants for shea butter by 2020, by the end of the year. So by 2021, we'll be one of the biggest exporters of shea oil, shea butter in Africa. This is the way to go. And from these three plants, our analysis shows that we'll be creating over 3,000 direct and indirect jobs for Nigerians. Imagine if we have more entrepreneurs playing in this sector. We'll definitely do more. And the bank is well positioned to fund all your export needs.
Indeed, indeed. Exciting news. The question is, why don't we have more entrepreneurs? But let's talk about the reason for establishing NEXIM. It was established in 1991. Your raison d'etre is to ensure sustainable growth and of non-oil exports, actually, by providing finance and helping bear risks of exporters. Would it be correct, Stella, to say that NEXIM hasn't fared quite well in providing these services? Will it be correct to say that?
I would not agree to that because we've been doing that as a bank, and we're currently more empowered by the present administration. What you should understand is that before this current administration came on board, there's been little or more lip service to export diversification and all of that. But currently, the present government, under the leadership of President Muhammad Buhari, is keen on diversifying our economy. And so NEXIM Bank has been repositioned to actually drive all of this, to de-risk the sector, to provide funding, advisory services. We do beyond that. We do advisory services. We do market linkage, market information. So all of this is what we do, and we are well positioned right now to actually carry out all of these services. And we've been doing that for the past 3 years under the leadership of Abba Bello and my colleagues.
All right. Now let's go back to what you said about the fact that NEXIM is very willing to provide the funding for every entrepreneur out there who's looking to go into exports. Now, the question now is, how easy is it to access this funding? And also the fact that international standards are an issue. So how can we ensure that our goods are meeting this international standards, especially for countries like not really countries, continents, more like Asia, Europe, and the USA, speaking of a country then?
Currently, I have share notes leaving Nigeria to Canada, to Europe, and to Asia. I have other products leaving to Asia. Yes, those are more of destination, but we currently have exports, around the world. What we're doing at NEXIM is that we're currently engaging the players in the entire value chain. So when you talk about packaging, we fund packaging for exports. We fund branding for exports. We fund the entire value chain, so we reduce the risks associated with rejections and all of that. So we work closely with SON, as well as the agencies that are involved in certification and all of that of our produce and our products from Nigeria. And so with the right equipment, what you should understand is that for most of our produce, you need to actually work in line with the procedures of your destination country. And so we make sure that is part of our credit analysis before we fund. And yes, we've really had little or no, since my 3 years in NEXIM, I've actually not had any issues with rejections from destination countries. And it shows that we're doing it right. And Nigerians, when we're out to do things, we do it well.
Get it done.
And we're doing it well.
That's the spirit of Nigeria. Stella, there is currently a collaboration between you and the Central Bank of Nigeria. The philosophy behind this is known as PAVE, P-A-V-E. Tell us the essence of this philosophy and how far it's gone to boosting funding support to non-oil export sector.
The PAVE is produce, add value, and exports. So that's where, I've spoken about value addition. We're currently working closely with the Central Bank of Nigeria. We have the 500 billion export stimulation facility. We also have the export development facility. And as a bank, we're working closely with each of the state governments to ensure that every state in Nigeria has something to export. So what we're doing is that we're trying to develop an exportable commodity or product from the 36 states in Nigeria and FCT. And currently, we already have about 7-8 states governments, sign up. We've availed them, we've given them offers to, develop commodities that were identified in the state. For example, Jigawa State, we have the sesame. We're looking at producing sesame into paste, into oil for export. We currently have one plant doing that. We're looking at, in Akure, we have cocoa. We're currently working with some of the business owners there to increase, cocoa beans into powder, into cake and butter for export. So we're currently collaborating, and what we just need is that we need more players to be on board, and definitely we'll be able to get things right.
Amazing. Now let's touch on the export guarantee scheme of CBN and NEXIM. Does this also favor domestic, domestic and also private exporters?
Yes. We guarantee we give credit guarantees to our exporters. We'll also have various schemes. We have the insurance credit insurance scheme. We have with other export banks in the world. Currently, we have one with we're working on one with the China NEXIM. We currently have one with Indian NEXIM of about $50 million. We have some other ones we're talking based on requirements. What we do under that scheme is that we guarantee equipment, that are needed to produce or to add value for export from manufacturers all over the world.
All right. You have processed about $39.45 billion loans to 27 export companies. What has happened before with loan defaults? How are you guarding against this recurring? And how are you supporting these companies, especially during this pandemic, to be able to pay back and not default on their loans? Briefly.
There's a sector I need to, inform Nigerians about. Currently, most of the leather shoes you wear are the leathers are made in Kano. They are made in Nigeria and exported to Italy, Spain, and Brazil. Really? Currently, yes, these are, especially with the COVID in Spain and in Italy, we noticed some of our exporters had issues with repayments. Factories were down, so there was really little or no export within March and June, July. And the federal government, in its wisdom, advised that we reduce our rates from, we're currently on a single digit, which is 9%, from 9% to 5%. So that's what they're enjoying now. And we gave moratoriums, on principle for 12 months. And this is in consideration with, your produce or what you're currently exporting.
All right.
So we've been able to address
Stella
issues that have to do with...
Sorry, I have to interrupt you there. We've come to the end of the interview. Thank you so much, Stella Okotete of NEXIM Bank.